Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the AtR podcast. I am Gio Garcia here. I'm alongside Christian Mosqueda. And as you guys see on the title there, we have a very special guest, man. Very good friend of the show, undefeated from South El Monte, man. Great friend of the show, man. Shout out to you, Arnold Barboza
Oh,
Jr. How you
oh,
doing, Arnold?
What's up, man? How you guys doing?
We're doing great, man. Thanks for joining us. About 8 days away from your fight, man. How you
Yeah,
feeling? How's it going out there?
it's good, man. It's good. We're ready. Just putting the last little touches, but man, we're there. We're ready. If the fight was tomorrow, we're ready.
Ooh, there we go.
yeah, and Arnold, I know that this has been a long time coming. You're getting closer, inching closer to that title shot. I know it's been a frustrating process at times. I'm gonna jump right into it, man. I know that there was a meeting you had with your employer, with the Bob father, Bob Arum. I gotta ask, what were some things that you wanted to, express to him? What were some things that you wanted to hear from him? Him being the head honcho on that
Yeah.
top.
I just think like some recognition was nice. Bob knew who I was, and he shared to me the plans. Of course, not getting ahead of ourselves. Getting through. I made it clear to him that none of that matters. I got to take care of business the 15th, which I will. So it was pretty cool, man. It was pretty cool to talk to my boss, and I mean I met him before, but never like this. It was really cool, and he you know you could tell he really cares for the fighters, man. And I felt the love, and it was pretty dope, man. Talking to a living legend, literally.
Hey,
Yeah,
greatest promoter of all time, man. When you look down his resume and all the fights and huge fighters that he's promoted, I think it's hands down. Nobody gets close to the Father. But um, before we continue with that conversation, I do want to shout out all the people here checking us out live. We have a question coming from our guy Jesus. He says, "Pregunta Arnold, Zorrilla is a very underrated boxer, and do you feel like you've seen enough of Zorrilla to know what he brings to the ring?"
Not yeah, no, he's very. I do what I do know is he is a very strong fighter. Very powerful, has good pop. I think that he's gonna come in. You know, of course, wanted to beat me and take my spot, but he's gonna come in. A different fighter. I can't expect the same performance that he put on before. He's gonna come in 100%. And I think he's gonna show a lot. A lot. I think you guys are gonna know who he is, but as well know who I am. I think he's probably my toughest fight to date, man. So I'm really looking forward to the fight.
Danielito Zorrilla, 16-0, 12 KOs out of Puerto Rico. What was that process like making this fight? We know you've been calling out the champions and the top five guys for a long, long time. So, what was the process like, agreeing to a Zorrita fight when, there's big fights out you for there and you're taking a big risk?
To me, I got to get through this to get the other big fight. Other people are busy right now. And eventually, I think once all the top guys get done fighting their fights, which they are pretty much a lot of them have some lined up already. Then we all start meeting. But it was a no brainer for us. We said yes right away. It wasn't even no hesitation. So we're excited.
and of course, this is in a sense pitting the Mexican crowd against the Puerto Rican crowd. Danielito Zorrilla, he's gonna have the backing of Miguel Cotto. I gotta ask, does that motivate you? Having a guy, that paved the way for Puerto Rico. Like you grew up watching him as I assume you did. Does that motivate you, like for you to want to, be one of his guys, show him what you have, who you are? Does that add motivation to you come fight night?
Yeah, of course. Having him there and watching us fight is pretty cool. Especially if I defeat his guy, that's more icing on the cake, right? So I'm excited, man. I'm excited for that night. I think tickets are almost sold out. So I'm excited.
Uh,
Do you expect this fight to kind of bring out, obviously you're a Cali guy, you're a South Del Monte guy, but do you feel like this is gonna bring out your Mexican side? You think there's going to be some toe-to-toe action if it breaks out? What do you expect come fight night?
Yeah, I expect an exciting fight. I always bring exciting fights. So I know he's also a great come forward fighter. So probably gonna clash in the middle. So we'll see, man. We'll see how much we can both dish out and take.
Now, going back to the Bob Arum conversation, are there any details that you can reveal about that? Maybe a roadmap, or did you guys discuss that at all, or was it just kind of strictly, this is what's next, and you got to get through this?
Well, there was a lot of things said, but like I said, I don't really like talking about that stuff. I just got to get through the 15th. Once I get through the 15th, we can do this interview again, and I could maybe share some details. But
Yep.
I'm not worried about the what was said. Because at the end of the day, if I don't take care of business the 15th, none of that happens.
100%.
And Arnold, correct me if I'm wrong. This is the first main event for you under the Top Rank banner. What does this mean to you personally, and what does it mean to your fan family, people from South El Monte? They hear the Top Rank, they know those names are attached to ESPN, to Bob Arum, to all those guys. What does it mean to you to headline this event?
Man, it's an honor. My first main event. Just because where how far I've come. From the only Mas days. You know what I mean? So.
Yeah.
So it's been a crazy roller coaster, man, and we're excited, really excited, but at the same time, I can't get too caught up in the whole main event thing. I just got to go in there and do my job like I've been doing for 26 fights. At the end of the day, that's what it is, and all this stuff, going on, that doesn't really matter. What matters is in the ring, man.
Yeah, and like Gio mentioned, it's 8 days away. Friday, July 15th, next Friday at the Pacquiao Resort in Temecula. I'm sure all the hard work has been done, all the sparring, all the bruising, all that. Can you tell us a little bit of how sparring was? I know you got away from your city for a little bit. Can you tell us a little bit about how that went?
Yeah. We went to Vegas. We decided to go out to Vegas this camp. Big Bear wasn't available anymore, unfortunately. So we went out to Vegas, and man, we had some great sparring, man. There's monsters everywhere out there. So we got some good work in with our boy Luis Feliciano. Brian Flores. We got some working with an Olympian, Gabriel Maestre. And then we got some with some other cat too. I forgot his name, but man, it was all great work. Oh, and then we sparred Gabe Flores too, like a few times. But so it was good work, man. Then we came back and we sparred Ruben Torres and a few other guys. So it was overall, man, it was just great, great sparring.
Hey. Were you guys trying to emulate, Danielito Zorrilla? Were there any things that you asked of your sparring partners, like, hey, we want you to do this, we need you to do that. Can you do this for us?
Nah, man. I don't do that. They it's just them. Feliciano kind of has a similar style to Zorrilla, but I think Feliciano's just sharper, stronger. Throws a lot. So he was really good work. So man, it's just at the end of the day, Zorrilla's not gonna come out fighting the way he's been fighting. He's gonna change it up because of my style and my whatever. So at the end of the day, man, we're gonna have to adapt in the fight.
Hey.
Yeah, and Arnold, staying on the topic of this fight, one of my favorite things about you is always the outfits, man. You be out there with the Lakers colors, LAFC colors. You have anything special planned for this one, or just strictly business?
It's strictly business, man. Usually when I do outfits like that, it's because I'm in a certain place, like Staples Center, and when I fought in Texas, I did the Dodger thing because I'm from out here, and
the LAFC stadium, you did the LAFC, yeah.
The LAFC colors, but nah, man, it's just we're just getting down to business this fight.
That's what's up.
I was saying, we know that you're a big Kobe fan. I gotta ask, that Mamba mentality, is that coming? Do you think that is coming out this fight? Do you think you will be in a 12-rounder or something where you have to push yourself that extra gear?
Yeah, man, I think this fight's gonna really push me to my limit, man. He's a really good fighter, man. So it's not only about like fighting for my name, my family, and my record and all that to get to the top. It's also Top Rank versus Golden Boy, man. So it represents the promoter.
Before we move on, Chris, I gotta ask because I'm very intrigued. As a Laker fan, how'd you feel about the Warriors winning this season?
Man, well, to be honest, man, when the Lakers not in the playoffs, I don't really watch them.
You're like,
You know,
I don't care.
I don't care for the playoffs when the Lakers are not in. I watched like probably like 2 quarters of the Celtics game. I think we were playing the Warriors. Yeah,
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 yeah.
right.
Yep.
Yeah, so I watched like 2 quarters and man, but I was in Vegas, man. I was just in my room, man, just hanging out, watching movies and shows and stuff.
Do we have any future or do we gotta make some trades?
Russell, man,
Oh
everybody
man.
say it, bro.
Poor Russell.
Bruh, I mean, look, man, I don't know what happened, man. I didn't know he was that bad, bro. Like, damn, but you know what? Maybe it's just the pressure, man. Maybe the LA just pressured him. We just got the pressure of the lights and big stage, and he just tried to do too much, man. But you hear all this talks about the Irving trade for
Yeah.
him, but I mean, damn, if I was the Nets, I wouldn't even push. I wouldn't even touch that.
Yeah, back to the topic of boxing. I know you don't watch too many of the other boxers, but there's been some movement at the 140 division. Were you a little surprised that Josh Taylor vacated a couple of his titles? And what are your thoughts on the WBC ordering the Chon Cepeda against Jose Ramirez?
Yeah, no, I wasn't really surprised. I mean, at this point, I stopped looking at that because I have a fight in front of me. So I mean, congrats to Chon, man, and I know for sure Chon's getting the shot. I don't know who he's gonna be against. I don't really know. Like, I think Ramirez. I don't know, but congrats to them, man. They need to run it back anyway. So, but yeah, I think Taylor's just gonna, wait till the last minute to literally vacate every bout. Which is making everyone wait, which is fucking, dickhead move. But it's all right. We'll see, man. I mean, you got, other guys, other fights coming. So I mean, we'll see what happens, man.
Obviously, one step at a time. But as a fighter, looking in and seeing out how complicated is it to hold on to all those belts? Is it going from one sanctioning body to another? Do you have to pick and choose which one? Like what are your thoughts on that?
Man, I don't know too much about the experience because I never had one, so I can't, say how it feels or whatever. But I'm guessing, man, it's somewhat stressful because you got to remember when you're the champion, everyone's gunning for you, so you got to stay ready. But man, I mean, I don't know. See, Josh said he deserves to do what he wants to do, man. He's the king in the division, so.
And now that was the question by Big Bro, who's checking in on the chat. He says, who do you believe is the best 140 pounder besides yourself? Would you say Taylor?
No. Fuck, I don't know, man. It's good. I think, man, this is hard because it's like Ramirez is there, Chon's there, Regis, man, is there. Man, just so many good ones, man. It's hard to pinpoint, like a good, a number 2 guy.
Yeah, I feel like everyone can kind of beat each other. I don't know if you feel the same way. These are even Chon against Jose Ramirez. Like the first one was very close.
Yeah, man, it's just gonna be a good fight if that happens.
Stylistically wise, Arnold, for you, who is the most complicated based on your style and based on their style? Who's the one guy that you're like, that guy I gotta be on my A+++ game?
I think Regis. I think Regis has a tough style and strong too. So I think Regis will be a tough fight. But I would love to fight him, man. Like I know he said no one calls him out, but if the opportunity presents itself, man, I'll definitely be game for that.
All right, let's stay on that real quick. Because you've been calling out a gentleman who just moved up to 140, and I'm sure you get asked this left and right. But what happened there? He took a fight versus a guy, Pedro Campa, who's 34-1-1. But you've been on his ass. What happened there with Teofimo Lopez? Of course, if you guys don't know, who we're speaking of.
Man, fuck. I feel like a broken record, bro.
Yeah.
But now he it's just at this point I don't bring him up anymore. I mean, it's just I think it was smart of his team to go to Pedro Campa route. Not disrespecting Pedro Campa.
Yeah.
He's a good fighter. But it's just he he just says, on Twitter that, after he took that fight, he says, "Oh, no one wanted to fight him." Bro, come on. I think it was just smart in his team, bro, to just do that for him, and then come, and then see where he's at, man. See where he's at mentally.
Yeah, and it's interesting that you mentioned that because I feel the same way. I don't think he would want to jump right into the deep end, right? I think they're trying to get their feet wet a little bit. I don't think it would have been a smart move to fight you because you're one of the top guys there. It's a dangerous fight for them if you're speaking business-wise. Obviously, as a boxing fan, we would love to see it, but you can't. I don't think you blame them, but then it gets a little tricky when they're saying those comments, right? Where, oh, we want to fight all the best, and that's when it gets tricky. It's like, really?
Yeah.
But
yeah, man, bullshitting, trying to make a story, I guess.
Yeah.
But I do wish it still happens though. That's a great fight for boxing, you and Teofimo. Hopefully, and you against anybody really. Jose Chon Cepeda, Jose Ramirez, Regis Prograis, Josh Taylor if he sticks around. These are all big fights that the boxing fan wants to see.
Yeah, saying, and I want to fight. I want to do it. So we'll see, man. Like I said, 15 comes first, and after that, we can start seeing who we're gonna get.
Yeah, Arnold, do you take that as a compliment in a sense? I know, obviously, you want the fight, you want those kinds of fights, you want those kinds of big money exposure fights, but Teofimo not picking you. Do you take that as a compliment? Like, hey, he respects the skills. He respects that I'm one of those top guys. He won't mention my name, but hey, he knows that there's danger in that kind of fight.
Not really, man. I don't really care. I don't really think of it like that. I just don't even really think, much of him, man. It's just more his dad, but that is what it is, man. I mean, he can think what he wants. I care less.
And I gotta ask you, what are your thoughts on obviously those father-son kind of duos? Because we see a lot of the dads sometimes talk more for their, than the actual fighter. I don't see your dad talk a whole lot. He seems like he's a very calm, demeanor. What are your thoughts on those kinds of parent-son duos?
I mean, they're cool, man. Like ours is, mine is dope, because my dad's my trainer, in the gym, and then once we get home, man, the gym doesn't get brought up, and the gym is just like, he's my trainer, it's like, we'll leave that father, that father-son thing, outside, but yeah, like other fathers, they try to, they do the talking for their sons, man. Sometimes, the sons are the ones that have to answer for it. It's not them, man. I think they're just living through their sons, you know what I mean? So it's just, I don't know. My dad's calm, he's I mean, don't get me wrong, man. My dad's, something else, but he's not gonna go on social. You don't even know how to use Instagram, bro. So he, he's an OG, bro. He doesn't care.
Yeah, we heard some stories the first time you came to our podcast with your friend. What was his name? Jose, right?
Oh, yeah.
Shout to your homie, cool dude. We heard some stories. So if y'all want to check out some of the stories, just rewind back to that episode. I don't know, that's probably like 100 episodes ago, but that was a good one for sure. You mentioned the gym, Arnold. Let me ask you, what are you what's on the playlist nowadays in that gym? What gets you going?
Everything different. It's different, man. Like, it's just, it just depends on the day, we listen to rap, corridos. I mean, we listen to everything. I listen to everything, so it just depends on my mood, man. Sometimes I'm feeling a certain way, so it's just different music, man. And then when my dad gets on the playlist, it's more like, like Chente and,
okay.
like, fuck, like, damn.
I thought you were going to say like Ice Cube or something.
Nah, my dad's more old school, man,
Okay.
So, yeah.
R.I.P. Chente, man. Legend.
I gotta ask, what kind of conversations do you have with your dad? What are some things that he says, man, it would be awesome if you fought here when you get here? Like, what are some things that you'd like to share?
Man, you know what? To be honest, man, like my dad, he's just, he's a very short, like he doesn't really conversate really too much, so ask him a question, I'll be like, that'll be cool, we fight here. Oh yeah, that'll be sick. That's it, like, it's never really like something like, but like we do talk, like about like plans, like, like he'll tell me like, if this guy moves up, or this is a possibility, but stuff like that, it's not really like we we don't really dream too much, man. We just in the moment, man, and see, you know, what presents itself, you know, because you don't want to, you know, put expectations, man, and then, you know, be let down or, you know, or anything like that, you know.
Yeah, you guys keep it real.
Yeah.
So on that topic, you mentioned how he talks about guys moving up, and what are some of those guys at 135 that you feel are outgrowing that 135 that could possibly make that jump to your division?
Oh, for sure, Devin Haney, 100%. I don't know how much longer he has right there. But I know for sure him. I mean, I can't really think on top of my head of anyone really else, but you know, I know him for sure. He's a good fighter, man. That fucking guy's pretty good. So yeah, I know he's gonna be moving up. So I don't know who else, but I know for sure him.
Yeah, I read an article somewhere where they compared yourself to George Kambosos, and you know they not gave you the nod saying you're better than that George Kambosos. Would you welcome a fight with a Devin Haney or say a Gervonta Davis or even a Ryan Garcia?
Oh man, of course. You know that's a no brainer. You know what I mean? So guys like that, man, those are no brainer fights. You know, it's you know, if you're in boxing, man, because you're scared to fight somebody or something, you're in the wrong sport, man. For real.
Let me ask you this, because I remember the first episode we brought up the YouTubers. I think it was Logan Paul, and I think that was
Yeah.
like the first or second fight of these YouTubers who were entering the professional boxing arena, right?
Mhm.
How I know back then we were talking mats, we weren't talking that much shit, but we're just like we didn't take it seriously. I still remember from
Yeah.
that episode. Has your opinion changed on that? Because I know mine has.
My opinion changed like a whole 360 right after that. You know, I think that Jake Paul is doing some amazing things, man, with with boxing. You know, I think he's doing, you know, manager wise, promoting wise. He's brought so many different eyes to the sport, man. You know, I've seen it firsthand. I've seen it, you know, right in front of me. You know, so I think he's doing a great job, man. And you know, and you can't hate on anybody for getting their money, man. You know, so if you know, boxers complain, but it's like, man, like you didn't do what they're doing, you know, so you can't, you know, your following is not what they can have. So man, it's just, you know what, I just think that they're doing good for the sport, man. So I, you know, I look forward to, you know, to what he does, moves outside the ring more than inside the ring. You know, he's doing some good things.
I couldn't agree more, man. I couldn't agree more. He definitely putting the women's boxing fight, right, headlining at MSG. That was
Man,
pretty huge. He
that
just
was dope, man. That was cool, man. Women, you know, deserve it, man. They really do. There's some really good, talented female fighters out there.
And then he just signed our good friend here from Long Beach, up and coming boxer Ashton Silva, 18 years old. He's already 8-0. So I feel like Jake
Wow.
Paul is doing his homework. He has an eye on the street, and he's listening to these managers, and obviously he has a good team because he's doing things right, in my opinion, at least.
Oh yeah, man. You know, you hear. I mean, boxing's so small, man. You hear, you know, everything. You know, and from what I hear, he's doing an amazing job. You know, he's taking care of his fighters, paying them well.
Yeah.
So shout out to him, man. Doing good things.
As a fighter, seeing him come up and you knowing how many years it takes to do the work, you know how hard it is to even just get a title shot. Do you think he has a slight chance to hold the title one day, or do you think it's getting a championship is that tough?
No, I mean, it's getting his belt is tough, but I mean, you know, I think anything's possible. You know, I think he's you know, for starting so late, man, he's pretty good. He's not bad. You know,
Yeah.
So I know he has a fight coming up. So I mean, against a real boxer, right? They said 12-1. So we'll see, man. But I mean, hey, he's doing good things, man. He looks like he's training hard. So see what happens.
All right, let's go to some questions here in the comment section. Do you have a top 3 pound for pound at the moment, Arnold?
For me, it's I still like Canelo, man. He's my favorite. I like Terrence Crawford. I love fucking Inu, man, the monster dude.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, dude, that guy's fucking sick. Yeah, him and I like Shakur too, man. He's really talented. Shakur. And still a Loma fan, man. I'm still a Loma fan.
And I think that's the greatness of Bob Arum, right? He brought Inoue over to Top Rank, introduced him to the US market. And obviously guys like Fury and guys like Loma who are with Top Rank as well. So
Yeah, hey man, Top Rank has a good team. They do their homework, so they have I think most solid fighters.
All right, last few questions, Chris, before we let Arnold go. Last few questions.
Yeah, no, I'll say a comment real quick. I think on a few previous podcast episodes, we were saying just like, hey, Bob Rank and Top Rank, they're killing it, man. They're putting on some great cards last this past 2022, and obviously we're very happy when your fight got announced. I know you were calling out even the Leon Paros of the world. You're like, hey, I just need somebody in those top 15 spots to push me up, and obviously like we mentioned, the top 5 guys, whether they feel like you're too much of a risk or whatever, or they just don't want to call you out. And we're very excited, brother. You got this fight, next Friday. I know you're gonna put on a show right here in California. So man, we're excited for that. Thank you for taking the time to speak to us. Yeah, man, we're excited, man. I know it's been a 2.5-year journey, and before that, it's been 10 years of just grinding away. So man, we're excited, man.
Hey man, thank you guys for having me, man. I appreciate you guys, man. You guys show me support for a good minute, man. I appreciate you guys.
One last one for you, Arnold. One last one for you, because whether you realize it or not, there is a lot of young women boxers, men boxers who look up to you, man. You're from not too far from us, from here from Long Beach. You're obviously from here from LA County. I know South El Monte, all them kids are looking up to you. Who are some of the young guys that you see out there who can be the next ones up, man? Because I'm sure if they hear their names coming from your mouth, it can definitely keep them motivated and get them excited about their future.
Yeah, man. There's some I'm not really good with names, man, but there's some kids, man, that I went to some amateur show out here in in El Monte, and I see some really good talent, man, from the Jerry Ortiz gym, from the South Almonte Teamster gym, of course, where I came from. So man, I don't know what it is, something in the water, man, but all the kids from from our city, man, they show up, and they're and then you have their fathers and their parents that really push them, so that's good, So man, I just I know it's gonna continue. There's gonna be some great fighters coming out of there. And man, these kids are looking good, man. And I don't know what's going on with the Olympics, but hopefully, man, they give them some type of platform where they can blow up and and then go to the pros and be like a Loma or like a or like someone like that.
100%. July 15th, ladies and gentlemen, don't miss it. Arnold Barboza Jr. against Danielito Zorrilla. 2 undefeated fighters, Mexico, Puerto Rico, Top Rank, ESPN. Doesn't get better than that, man. Once again, Arnold, thank you very much. Thank you to all you guys tuning in live, man, and we wish you the best. Arnold, can't wait.
Hey, thank you, man. I appreciate you guys. Thank you.
And Arnold, if you want to shout out any of your sponsors, anybody that's been supporting you throughout your journey, feel free to shout them out and give them some love.
Oh yeah, man. Of course. I want to give a shout out to of course to ESPN, to Top Rank, to Snack, man, Everlast, Active Collision, Art Casas, real estate, the HD clothing, man, what I just came out with, Hustle Dedication LLC, Royalty Drip, man, Mesas Jewelers, Brain CBD, Tenfold Clothing, man, all these sponsors, man. Mariscos Martin since day one. So I appreciate you guys, man, and all the love and support, and hope to make you guys proud of the 15.
There you have it. Arnold Barboza Jr. We'll let you go, man, and we'll continue the show here for a few more minutes. But thank you very much, man. Enjoy your evening. Rest up, and we know you're going to kill it.
Awesome. Thank you, brother.
Thank you.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was Arnold Barboza Jr. Like we said, July 15th. Don't miss it. That's a Friday. It's going to be fireworks, Chris.
Yeah. Again, his opponent is, almost on the same boat as him, undefeated, hasn't been on this stage, but he sees Arnold as that one guy that can elevate and that can push him, to those top 5 spots. So somebody's always gonna go, and man, it's gonna be a tough fight, crossroads fight for both guys. Like we mentioned, Miguel Cotto, Zorrilla's promoter is gonna be there. Arnold's gonna be there. The Ballfather, all these big name promoters, man. And I know he said it like in a joking way. He's like, hey, I gotta it's Top Rank versus Golden Boy and those other promoters. I gotta make my boss look good so he can push me up, and get that title shot. So it's definitely a crossroads fight, big fight, like you mentioned, Mexico contra Puerto Rico. So it's gonna be fireworks, bro.
100%. And Max Palacios checking in. He said, not sure if you guys asked, but why did Teofimo duck him? He said they chose Pedro Campa as their opponent, right? Arnold has been calling him out. They exchanged some words. But at the end of the day, they just didn't take the fight. They chose another opponent. So he said as of now, he's done talking about it because they didn't want to take the fight. So obviously he's moving on. He has a fight July 15th. He mentioned a very important meeting with Bob Arum. And hopefully a lot comes from that if, or when he gets past this July 15th date. So yeah, that should be good. Yeah, I think the interesting part about that is, Teofimo made some comments on Twitter talking about nobody wants to fight me, this, and that. And I know some words were exchanged there, but at the end of the day, they didn't sign. They signed to fight another opponent. So we'll see. We'll see if they can make it happen down the road. Let's see if Teofimo can make a name in the 140-pound division, because we mentioned Regis Prograis. We mentioned Josh Taylor if he sticks around. We mentioned Jose Chon Cepeda, Jose Ramirez, Arnold Barboza himself. Big names, tough opponents. So we'll see what happens in what I think is probably like top 2, top 3 hottest divisions at the moment. Obviously, we talked about the division with Bam Rodriguez, Soren Visa, El Gallo, Chocolatito, but 140, you can't sleep on them, man.
Yeah. Yeah, 140 has stacked with names. Obviously, Josh Taylor had a stronghold holding all those belts, but he released 1 or 2 of those. So these guys are gonna be vying for that vacant, or that like Jason Costa here mentioned. One of those guys, one of these title eliminators should get the winner from Cepeda Ramirez. So yeah, that division is hot. Crazy thing about that is that a lot of those guys are California guys, like Arnold Barboza. You got Chon Cepeda, you got Jose Ramirez. So they're all here, man, and all these fights could be done here, whether in Vegas, whether in Temecula, whether wherever. But all these guys are hungry, man, and they want to be champs, man. They want to be champions. They want to command their purses. So this is life-changing fights, and hopefully our boy Arnold's puts on a performance. I gotta ask you, Gio, does he need a knockout? Does he need something that's what's the word? That's a statement. Do you think he just has to win soundly?
No, he just has to win. He just has to win. I don't believe in statements. If you make them, cool, like Bam Rodriguez, right? Not many of us expected that. If it happens, cool, but I think he just has to win. At this point of his career, he just has to rack up the wins, and he's in that interesting spot where guys aren't giving him a chance for the title, so he has to take these tough fights. Zorrilla, 16-0, 12 KOs, obviously power puncher. He defeated one of our good friends of the show by KO, actually, Pablo Cesar Cano. So that's a big win. Can't sleep on this guy. And, Arnold, he seems content to be doing this, taking the tough fights until he's going to keep knocking and knocking on the door until somebody answers. So this is going to be fireworks. It's going to be a great fight. And can't wait for it, man. Like we said, ESPN is going to go down Friday, July 15th. And Arnold said this is probably the biggest fight for me so far.
Obviously, I know we like to get ahead of ourselves and name other fighters and name the top 5s. But I think Arnold, obviously, he's the one fighting this fight. He has a great way of looking at this fight. He's like, I'm taking it one at a time. I just have Danielito Zorrilla in front. Like, that's the only guy that I'm focused on. That's my one assignment. Like him and his dad talk about. We don't like to get too ahead of ourselves. We just, just finish the task in front of us. And he's going in with that right mentality, one step at a time. Like you said, Gio, Daniel Zorrilla, he's no pushover. He's got a couple knockouts in his last couple fights. So it's going to be a tough test, but I think Barboza Jr. is up for that challenge.
Yeah, Max says, why has he been so inactive lately? So Arnold had only one fight in 2021 against Antonio Moran. Yeah. Of course, he had that big fight against Alex Saucedo in 2020, and then Tony Luis in 2020. So I just think it's a combination of them trying to get the right fights, meaning getting the top guys, right? Um,
Yeah.
but it seems like, they're done waiting. They just got to keep racking up the wins, and hopefully he gets another one July 15th.
I know he mentioned Josh Taylor, holding on to making decision. It kind of trickles down to the 140s. It kind of, it makes other people hold off, and again, it trickles down. So that could have something to do with it. Other than
once he
obviously,
won the belts, it's like, okay, who's next?
Yeah.
Obviously, Jose Chon Cepeda and Jose Ramirez wouldn't fight each other if it's not for a belt, because the ultimate goal is you're trying to get at Taylor because he had all the belts. Now he's vacating, so now these other fights are going to start to come up. Obviously, all these matchups. Regis Prograis is still a name there. So, yeah, things are getting just very, very interesting in the 140-pound division. And Arnold thinks that Taylor will vacate eventually all the belts. So, we'll see.
Yeah. I know he's holding on to the IBF and I want to say the IBO. But, like you said, it's tough to do all those mandatories, and with everything that these sanctioning bodies ask, demand, be here, be there, it could take a toll. So man, we'll see what happens. But Arnold is in the top 10. He's been vying for a title shot for a while now. This is considered a title eliminator in a sense. The winner of this fight moves on to bigger and better things. And man, we'll see. It's going to be again a great fight. Two very talented, undefeated young fighters coming into their prime. So, man, it's going to be a great fight.
Yes, sir. And I'm about to pull up the boxing schedule for the next month or so. So far, we've been having very big fights, man. In my opinion, that Bam Rodriguez against Soren Visai was like an avid boxer's fan's dream. Watching those two talented fighters go at it, and the way that it ended by Bam, was great to see. But we do have some action this weekend. July 9th, San Antonio, Texas, Showtime, title fight between Mark Magsayo and Ray Vargas for Magsayo's WBC belt. Of course, he won that from Gary Russell, right? Gary Russell Jr. Gary Russell was injured in that fight, was fighting with one hand, basically, and Magsayo took advantage. Now, Ray Vargas, this guy is an anomaly at that weight class. Super tall, long arms, long legs, very tough opponent to defeat. So that should be a very good fight there.
Yeah, somebody that kind of came up in my ratings view was Gary Antoine Russell, obviously the brother of Russell Jr., a bit more active than his brother. He's climbing the ranks, man, so you gotta keep an eye out for him and see how he develops in that 140 division.
Yes, sir. So that's going down, like we said, this weekend. Showtime. All right, we got July 9th, Derek Chisora against Kubrat Pulev. If you're trying to check that out early in the day, for us at least, the Zone, and that's live from London. Let's see. We got some title fights there, Tokyo, and then this is the one here that a lot of people are looking forward to, for positive reasons and negative ones as well. Some people will praise him, some people will criticize him, but Ryan Garcia, he's back against Javier Fortuna, has going down live from LA on the Zone. And I haven't made any comments about this, Chris. I don't know if you want to say anything about this fight.
Not much to say yet. Obviously, I know we're a week and a half, 2 weeks away, but not much to say. It's just Ryan Garcia is, one of the emerging stars of boxing. People gave him a lot of credit for the Luke Campbell fight. Since then, his stock has taken a hit, but he's got for República Dominicana's Javier Fortuna, a credible fighter. I'm not sure if there's been a whole lot of promotion. There's been some promotion, but it's kind of hard to get excited for a Ryan Garcia fight unless it's one of those names that that people know who they want him to fight, and if it's not one of those guys, it's a bit hard to get excited over a fight like this.
Now, I don't know if these comments were true, but I saw like a post or something on Instagram, I believe, of Ryan Garcia saying that he and Tank need each other to become, the big names, and whoever wins in that fight will become the face of boxing. Do you agree with that statement?
For the mainstream, I see why he says that, but I don't completely agree with it. I mean, if you get a win over Gervonta Tank Davis, that's just going to catapult your stock for sure. To me, Tank is one of the biggest punchers in boxing. He has one of the most exciting styles in boxing. He could be a guy losing, a fight, and then he's got that equalizer. He can knock you out with a counter. We saw him do it with Rollies. We saw him do it with Leo. Obviously, Leo a little smaller, but if you could get a win over Gervonta, that definitely puts you up there. But obviously, we know how boxing is. There's more work to be done. So I wouldn't necessarily say it makes you the next face. It makes you a face of boxing for sure.
July 23rd, Joel Gonzalez against Isaac Dogbo. That's an interesting one. It's going down in Minnesota. And then a week after that, Danny Garcia against Jose Benavidez Jr. live from Brooklyn, New York on Showtime.
What are your thoughts on that fight? I think I know that you favor one guy over another.
Yes. I think
he's not the same.
I think I gave my opinion a couple weeks ago. But I think Danny, I think this is all Danny right here. He's moving up, right? 154. Is this fight at 54? I believe it is.
Yeah. You're in middleweights. Yeah. We'll see if Danny has another division in him.
Yeah, I think the ultimate goal is, he's PBC. I think the ultimate goal is to match him up with Charlo if that's possible.
Would you consider Danny Garcia a small 154 pounder?
Yes.
Or do you think? Yeah. Okay. Do you see him having trouble at that division?
Benavidez as well. Yep.
Yeah. I mean, when Danny, the first time I saw Danny, he was in like Arnold. He came from those Unima Solo Boxeo shows. I remember him being very exciting to watch. I did not think he was going to crack into the top 10 until obviously we saw him take out Amir Khan, and obviously after that he was on a good tear. He was winning some, losing to the very best. So I know Danny Garcia is an exciting fighter to watch. We'll see if he has hit that. I want to call it that domestication stage. If you guys seen Rocky 3, you know what I'm talking about. I want to see if he's gotten a little comfortable, with where he's at. But again, Danny Garcia is known for his punch. And that's the last thing to go. So I'm excited for that one, just based style-wise. I'm excited for that one.
I'm going to agree with Jason. He says Danny was a small 147. I agree with that because at 140, he was hurting dudes. He was knocking dudes out. 147, not so much. So, yeah, we'll see. That's an interesting fight, and let's see if they actually stick around at that weight class. Jason also says Benavidez should have retired after getting shot. Yeah, he fought Crawford with one leg and went, 11, 12 rounds? And they're getting stopped. But Max says, I heard Ryan is fighting Gamboa next. I would not be surprised.
Yo, when I heard that Garcia was retiring, my first thought was Danny Garcia. I didn't think it was Mikey. But, yeah, man. How old is Danny? Danny, I want to say Danny's around the same age as
Mikey.
Yeah. As a Mikey. 34 years of age, yeah.
I believe they're around the same, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's going down.
I was going to say, since he's just...
I'm not talking about Danny anymore. I don't care.
That's it.
Shout out to Comics Bet.
But
I'm going to just briefly go just real quickly through the August schedule. August looking hot summer. We'll see Michael Conlon there against Miguel Marriaga. It's going down Northern Ireland on ESPN. Jake Paul against Hasim Rahman Jr. Showtime pay-per-view. Amanda Serrano also on that card against Brenda Carvajal. That just got announced. August 6th, New York. August 6th, Fort Worth, Texas. DAZN. Virgil Ortiz Jr. against Michael McKinson. That fight originally was supposed to happen here in LA. Virgil had some health issues that he had to take care of, so that fight was postponed. August 13th, Las Vegas, ESPN Plus, Teofimo Lopez versus Pedro Campa. We're talking about that fight with Arnold. Cali, Colombia, Oscar Rivas is fighting out there for that Bridgerweight title. Cecilia Brake, who's also on that. Oh, that's interesting. That's going on in Colombia. Kind of like that. August 20, Jeddah, Saudi Arabia. Alexander Usyk and Anthony Joshua for the majority of the belts. So that's an interesting one. August 20 as well, San Diego, California. This one just announced as well. Emmanuel Navarrete against Eduardo Baez. Got Nico Ali Walsh on the undercard.
Okay.
August 27, Tulsa, Oklahoma, Jose Pedraza against Richard Comey. So that's the schedule for August. Not bad. Nothing major besides the Joshua Usyk, but solid fights.
Yeah. I'm excited for that one to close out the summer, but yeah, good couple names. Obviously this July 15th card is the one that we're gonna be having our eyes on. Supporting our guy. Of course, we know it's not gonna be an easy fight. He's gonna have to dig deep. But man, we're excited, man. Good couple months of boxing. I think we got a little spoiled to start the after May. But yeah, man, it's some good matches coming up, and can't wait for that one. That August 20th, Usyk versus Joshua, man. That one should be good.
Yeah, and we'll be getting out of here shortly, and we'll be back next weekend. Next week. And yeah, we'll try to get more guests in and all that. I hope you guys enjoyed our short convo with our guy Arnold Barboza Jr. We've had him. I believe this is now like the third or fourth time on our podcast. The first one was in person. He was out there in the studio, and cool dude, man. Very cool dude. We always root for Arnold. He's super cool. He always, answers whenever we ask for an interview or anything. He always got us. So wish him nothing but the best. And we know he's been taking this training camp very, very serious. He stayed away from family. He stayed away from everyone. Rented a place in Vegas and did his whole training camp there away from everyone here in Cali. So we know he's going to be ready, and it should be a very, very good fight, honestly.
Yeah. Jason Costa says, how do you guys see the Vargas Magsayo? People are underestimating Vargas.
Oh, I think Vargas wins.
I was actually I actually favor Vargas. I think Mark Magsayo, I think he kind of edged it out with Gary Russell that last time. I think I was like, oh man, that's how you barely win a title, man, in my opinion. But
a lot of people were not happy about that. When he won that, they're like, man, kind of left a bad taste in their mouths because of the injury. But yeah, Vargas, like I said, he's like a Paul Williams, man. If you guys remember Paul Williams, super tall for the division, super long pause, high volume puncher. So very difficult, man. Vargas is a difficult fighter for anybody. We watched him live here against Tomoki Kameda here at the formerly StubHub Center here in Carson, California, and he just dominated. He just outboxed them, and a lot of people weren't happy because he just made it look so easy. But that's Ray Vargas. I think I definitely favor him as well in this fight.
Yeah, Ray Vargas undefeated fighter, 35-0, 22 knockouts. I remember that Tomoki Kameda fight. Kameda was like pelea con Mexicano. He wanted, he knew his best chance was not to box Ray. It was to fight him and try to make him trade and catch him somehow. So, man, I say Ray. Lifts that title.
Big bro, not a big fan of Magsayo. You guys see there on the comments section. But yeah, that's the one to look forward to this weekend. That should be good. That's going down on Showtime. So, excuse me, I can't wait for that one. Let me see where they're fighting at. Shoot, did I click something? San Antonio. Cool. Hey, man, Texas, they're getting big fights. They just had the Bam Rodriguez. They hosted the hometown boy, Bam Rodriguez, against Soren Visai. So Must be nice to live in Texas.
And I was gonna say, if you guys follow us, from me, I would say watch out Arnold Barboza's fight. Support our guy as well. You'll see why he's rated at top 10. Obviously, it's been a long journey for him, 2 years without getting the fights that he wants. But hopefully after this, he's able to get those fights. So don't miss that next Friday on ESPN Plus.
Yes, sir. Let's get it. I think there's a good time to get out of here. Thank you guys for your questions. Thank you for keeping the chat lit. Thank you for joining us once again. And we'll be back soon. As I read one last comment here. Max says, Pacquiao almost got KO'd by a small, mediocre Ceja. Yeah, man, a lot of people don't like Pacquiao. But he does have the belt, and he's going to have to defend it against Rey Vargas. So looking forward to it. But I don't think he leaves that ring with that belt. I don't think so.
Imagine he does. It makes us look dumb. That'd be funny. Hey,
that's a huge win. Man, are we going to put him in our top pound for pound? He defeated Gary Russell Jr.
For real.
And if he defeats Rey Vargas, oh, man. Those are two big names on that resume.
For real. That'd be fun.
Oh, man. We might have to shift our list around, Chris.
Video.
All right. Thank you, Jason. Thank you, mates. Hey, and did you have one last comment, Chris?
No, just again, thank you guys for supporting the show and leaving your comments. And yeah, man, just tuning in every week. We try to do it every week. As the fights get closer, we'll double up. We'll get more guests on. If you guys know anybody you guys feel should be interviewed, should be covered by us, let us know, man. We're more than welcome to check out these up and coming fighters, man. We know that they don't always get the love or the support or the interviews, but hey, everybody deserves support.
Let's go, mates. We'll be back soon. Thank you, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. Peace. Let's go, mates. Shout out to Mark Pacquiao.
Michael, you already know I'm a fun guy.
Hola amigos, soy Juan Francisco Gallo Estrada. Quiero mandar un saludo para mis amigos de Contra las Cuerdas. Échenle muchas ganas. Un abrazo, muchas bendiciones.
Shout out to Against the Ropes. You know what mine is? Let's box, bitches. It's almost fight night.
Shout out to Against the Ropes. Thank you for the support. Keep doing your thing. You're doing a great job. So thank you and best wishes.
Against the Ropes. Huge shout out to Against the Ropes. Against the Ropes.
Shout out to Against the Ropes. Thank you guys for the interview and hope to see you guys soon.
Against the Ropes, always doing the right thing.
Shout out to Against the Ropes, man. I appreciate you guys for having me, taking the time out y'all day.
Against the Ropes, #1.
Freddie Roach.
Thank you very much.